Israel has just humiliated Russia by actually eliminating all the air defense systems in Iran. They did that with 100 planes, and none of these planes were hit. Now, this is a very big blow to the air defense system and probably to countries that are actually buying these air defense systems. Now, in this video, I'm going to tell you why that attack was successful and what are the kind of weapons that Israel used to carry out its attack. So why is this a big deal? It's a big deal because Iran was actually expecting this attack. You should remember that some few weeks ago, Iran attacked Israel. The Iran-Israel wars go right back to the 1980s, precisely 1985. So there have been this back and forth, but there have been some calm for some time. So recently, Israel went after Hezbollah, which is actually an Iranian proxy, and the Iranians decided to attack Israel. It should be made clear that the method of attack of both countries are very different. Iran attacked with ballistic surface-to-air missiles. Meanwhile, Israel attacked with air-to-surface missiles using 100 planes. Now, the big deal in this issue is that among the 100 planes, none of these planes were hit. This is a very, very big blow to Russia because the air defense system that Iran uses are from Russia. Now, it is also true that Iran has locally made air defense system, knowing fully well that the air defense system that Iran uses comes from Russia and that Russia is the main adversary to the US. It actually gives a very strong message that Western weapons are very superior. Now, in this channel, we talk about business, money, whatever, anything that can bring you money, entrepreneurship, all those things. But you can't be actually doing business without knowing what is going on around you. That's why we talk about geopolitics. And politics here is not biased. We're not choosing any sides. Remember last week, I made a video actually congratulating Russia on what it did for African countries. Now, Russia has just given visa-free access to many African countries, which is actually a big deal because as of now, no African country on the mainland of Africa has visa-free access into Europe. But several African countries have visa-free access to Russia. And Russia has a very, very good history with Africa. I listed in that video. If you've not watched that video, I'm going to put it in the comment section for you to watch. Now let's come back to this video. I was just like trying to make you understand that this channel is not biased. So why is Israel powerful? A very small country like that. Why is it powerful? It's a very small country on the map. When you compare it with Iran, it's just like a city. It's a very, very small country, but very tough also. Now, they are powerful because they do have nuclear weapons. And when we talk about nuclear weapons, they have all the triad. That means they can launch it from sea, they can launch it from air, and they can also launch it from land. That is a very huge capability right there for a very small country like Israel. So technological advancement is what is actually keeping Israel ahead. Talking about the economic situation of Israel, why is Israel rich? It's relatively a rich country. Israel actually make money from selling this technology. They also make money from selling diamonds. They process a lot of diamond. Now, many countries have diamonds they don't process, but Israel processes and sells. That is the finishing part of it, the tertiary part of it. So you can imagine how lucrative that is. Another reason why Israel is so powerful is because they have very important allies. They have America, which is a very powerful ally. So that also is some kind of deterrence. Many countries in the Middle East maybe would have already attacked Israel if Israel doesn't have a very powerful ally like the US, which is actually the most powerful economy in the world and has the most powerful military in the world as well. So because Iran hit Israel and Israel made a statement that they were going to revenge, or they were going to hit back, it makes this also a very big deal. Why? Because Iran was on alert. Iran knew that they were going to be hit by Israel, but yet their air defense system wasn't really working. Israel succeeded to destroy most air defense systems in Iran. This is going to have very huge consequences as most countries around the world buy defense systems from Russia. And so before countries buy from Russia, they're going to ask several questions. It's going to be very, very difficult to sell those air defense systems. But anyway, it depends on the country you are fighting with. You need to understand that Israel is a very formidable opponent. The F-35 that Israel uses, first of all, is stealthy, meaning that it cannot be easily detected by radars. More to that, Israel has adapted its own F-35 to respond to the threats within Middle East. So it is much more capable than other F-35s. They have the capabilities of a helmet that you can actually wear. The pilots can actually wear the helmet and look at any place around the plane without actually going out. If the pilot bends his head down, though there is a flaw on the plane, the pilot is actually going to see through the plane. Those are very important capabilities, and that goes the same 360, that is left, right, behind, and anywhere that the pilot turns his head, it can actually see through the plane. Now that's a very powerful capability that you can give to a pilot, because when they are in the air, they make split-second decisions, and a second without making a decision can be the difference between you losing that plane and you actually succeeding in your mission. So I'm going to play the clip so that you understand how the Israeli army actually got into Iran.
Yeah, I mean, the strike this morning in Israeli time was absolutely extraordinary. It was a remarkable effort. It included destroying air defense systems in Syria and Iraq, which were on the path to Iran, then destroying Iran's air defense systems and effectively knocking out the entire air defense capabilities of Iran, I believe.
Fantastic.
And also very severe damage to Iran's capability of producing missiles. And then, in the hope maybe of a completely different type of administration in Washington from January, then of completing the job, which it would include the levels of devastation that you just mentioned and that I would agree with.
This actually shows that Israel didn't just bomb Iran. They actually cleared the air defense systems in Syria and Iraq before attacking Iran. Now the distance between Iran and Israel is about 1,700 kilometers. Now imagine going through that distance and not losing a plane. That is very huge. That is very huge. And going through countries that are not actually friendly, that actually is something else. So Russia's air defense system in Syria and Iraq failed woefully. They could not even detect these aircrafts. And up to 100 aircrafts were used, and none of these aircrafts were actually hit. Now, these reports actually shocked even the US government, because the US government had actually performed a simulation of a war between Iran and Israel. And in that hypothetical war, it was actually known that if Israel goes to war with Iran, Israel is going to lose several aircrafts. But shockingly, they lost nothing. In addition to the stealthy nature of the F-35, Israel also has an advantage. They have this missile they call Rampage. Now, Rampage is a little bit different. Is very different from other missiles, from most missiles anyway, because most missiles actually hit their target at a 45 degrees. Meanwhile, Rampage hits its target at a 90 degrees. This gives a very heavy challenge to any air defense system that is trying to intercept this missile. There's something that also happened in the night of that attack that I don't know if I'm the only one that noticed it. If you noticed very well, when the IDF was attacking Iran, Iran sent out several interceptors. The thing is, when they hit a bomb or a missile, there is actually a bigger explosion. But these interceptors were actually just exploding without any huge explosion. Now, this actually gives a clear idea that these interceptors didn't hit their target. So the air defense system was literally useless. This strike is also going to affect business within the Russian military complex. Why is that? Because many countries across the world actually depend on Russian military hardware. And so they actually, seeing these results, would not really like to buy the way they do. Now, we need to also understand that it actually depends on whoever you are fighting. Now, in this case, if you are with Israel, you know Israel is a very formidable opponent, because they are going to come with F-35. Not every country has F-35. So this does not mean that S-300 or the S-400 doesn't work. In fact, it's one of the best air defense systems in the world, but it is not perfect. We just saw what happened. S-400 systems were on the ground, but they couldn't even detect the plane, not to talk of hitting the planes. The war is not good. We don't like war. War is very easy to start, but it's very, very difficult to stop. That is why there is still war in Ukraine. The war in Ukraine actually started like a joke, but how many years on, it is still going. All these things we're talking about is for people to actually understand the consequences of war and seek peace. I'm sure the Iranian government, if they knew that they don't really have enough capabilities, like practical capabilities, because when we talk about capabilities, it's not about feeling your own propaganda. No, it's not about hearing everything from your generals. No, it's about you actually taking time to understand the capabilities that you have and the capabilities of your opponent. Imagine a country like that has no stealth aircraft. I know that they have made something locally, but has it been tested in real situations? So after the strike on Iran, the supreme leader of Iran actually made a statement that they were going to retaliate on Israel. Now, do you really think that's going to happen, or you think he's just bluffing, knowing fully well that Israel has exposed the weakness of its air defense system? Please let me know in the comment section below what you think about this situation. My name is Asongwa Luis, and you are watching Africa Today. See you in my next video.